Hello, and welcome to the Deep Dive. This is brought to you by the English Podcast Channel. I am your host, and I am delighted that you have chosen to join us today. Our mission, well, it is always to take important everyday knowledge and deeply explore it. We want to give you the most useful, simple knowledge you can apply right away. Today, we are focusing on a feeling that every single person in the world experiences. It does not matter where you live or what language you speak. Sometimes the world just feels very heavy, Perhaps you have too much work, or maybe your home is simply too noisy. Nothing explicitly bad is happening, but you feel that pressure building up inside. So here's our question for today. Do you ever feel a little worried, too busy, or just very, very tired? We're going to dive into the language you need to talk about exactly those feelings.
Hello, everyone. I am Brian. I am an academic and a scholar with deep social knowledge, and, well, it is a privilege to be here to guide this deep dive with you. We understand that whether you are learning English or you just prefer information to be clear and straightforward, you want reliable, practical knowledge. Our deep dive today is all about extracting the most important, simple words and phrases from our source material about daily stress. But we're going beyond just vocabulary. We are going to give you a simple framework for understanding why you feel stressed. And that makes it much easier to know what to do next.
I like that a lot. It is not just about the words, it is about the action. So let us start with the most basic question. What exactly is stress? When we say that word, what are we actually talking about?
Very simply, stress is a feeling of emotional or physical tension. Think of it like a rubber band being pulled too tight. It is a natural response your body has when it feels that demands are greater than the resources you have available.
Okay, a natural response.
Yes. Our sources confirm that stress itself is normal, and it's very healthy to talk about it.
So if stress is tension, what are the related feelings that often cause this tension? We found 3 foundational feelings in our source material that often lead us to say, I am stressed.
Exactly. Understanding these 3 feelings, frustrated, nervous, and angry, is really the core of our framework today.
Okay, let us start with frustrated.
Frustrated, well, that means you feel upset because you cannot change something. Or perhaps you cannot do something you need to do, even though you try.
You feel stuck.
You feel completely stuck. That is the feeling.
Okay, next is nervous.
Nervousness is usually when you feel worried or maybe a little scared about something that'll happen soon.
Like an exam.
An exam is a perfect example. Or waiting for some news. It is a feeling that is very focused on the future.
And the third connected feeling is angry.
Right. Angry means you feel mad. You might feel hot, your voice could get louder, and you strongly dislike the situation you are in. Anger often comes when you feel a boundary has been crossed, or, when you feel you have been treated unfairly.
Okay, so we have frustration, nervousness, and anger. And here is where that deep dive insight comes in. Instead of just saying, I am stressed, we can use these 3 feelings to understand what kind of stress signal we're receiving.
Yes, this is so crucial. If stress is a signal, we need to know what kind of plan to make. Is the signal coming from, say, nervousness?
Okay.
If so, that stress is often manageable. You could prepare, or study, or make a plan for the event.
But if the signal is coming from anger or frustration, that often means the cause is something external, something you cannot immediately control.
Exactly, like constant noise or a major policy at work. Those situations require a different kind of action, maybe setting a boundary or just stepping away. This framework helps you choose the right solution.
It connects the feeling directly to the action.
Which is what we want.
Now that we know what stress is and the feelings connected to it, let us get practical with the language. How do you clearly and simply communicate that you are feeling this tension?
The best news is that the phrases are very simple. The 2 most common, clear ways to say it are, I am stressed, or I feel stressed.
Simple and direct. And if you are having a conversation with a friend and want to sound a little softer, a little more natural, especially when the feeling is not extremely strong, you can add 1 or 2 small words.
Exactly. You can introduce the phrases a bit or a little. For example, I am feeling a bit stressed today. The phrase a bit just means a little, and it makes the feeling sound less intense. It is very common in everyday conversation.
Now, a quick, important point for our English learners about grammar. It is a common mistake for learners to say, I have a stress. We typically treat stress as a general condition, not a specific item you can have one of.
That is right. It is best to stick to saying, I have stress without the a, or what is most common and natural, I am stressed. We use it like an adjective describing your state.
So if you are practicing right now,
Yes, say these out loud slowly. I am stressed. I feel a bit stressed. Those are perfect and clear.
fantastic. Now that we have the language, let us explore the sources of this tension. Our sources highlight three very common everyday situations that act as a trigger for stress.
The first, and often the most intense source, is work.
I think many people can relate to that.
Oh yes. Whether you are dealing with deadlines, difficult projects, or simply too many tasks for one day, work is a primary cause of pressure.
And this often ties back to nervousness, does it not? If you are stressed because of work, it is often because you are worried about the outcome or worried about disappointing someone.
It does. When you are worried about performance, that stress is signaling prepare more. The language here is very straightforward. I am stressed because of work.
Or, my job is very stressful right now.
Exactly.
Okay, situation number 2 involves family and home life. We love our families, but sometimes too much noise or too many responsibilities, or simply having many people needing your attention at once can be overwhelming.
This is where we often see anger and frustration as the underlying signal. The stress signal is saying, I need a quiet boundary, or I cannot solve this noise problem right now,
And to talk about this, you can say something like, I am stressed at home today.
or it is a stressful day with the kids. It is a simple way to acknowledge the feeling without needing a big explanation.
And the third common situation is very relevant for our audience. School and learning. If you are learning English, studying for an exam, or just trying to absorb a lot of new information, that effort creates tension.
That is definitely nervousness. You were worried about the test.
Right, so you can say, I'm stressed about my exam. Or if you want a really natural conversational phrase that native speakers use all the time, you can try this one. It is stressing me out.
That phrase is excellent. It is stressing me out means that the situation, the homework, the boss, the noisy neighbor is actively making you feel stressed right now.
So the problem is external and active.
It is. It is a very natural piece of language to communicate that.
So we have the external causes. Now let us shift our focus to the internal messages. Before your mind even catches up, how does your body tell you that you are under stress? Your body is very intelligent, and it sends you clear signals.
Think of it as an alarm system. When the tension is too high, the body changes its functioning to protect you, but this creates noticeable physical and mental signs.
And sign number 1 is tiredness. This is feeling very, very tired all the time, even if you have slept a full night. Your muscles feel heavy, you just cannot feel rested.
This happens because your body is using so much internal energy just to manage the constant emotional tension. The simple phrase to communicate this is, I have no energy.
Or, I feel so tired all the time.
Yes.
Sign number 2, you cannot focus. When you are stressed, your thoughts are running in many different directions. You try to read a paragraph in a book, and suddenly you are thinking about an email you forgot to send last week. It is hard to concentrate on just one thing.
Exactly. This lack of focus is your brain overworking. It is constantly scanning for threats or problems, which means it cannot settle down to do the quiet work of concentration. You can say, I cannot focus on my work, or it is hard to concentrate. Remember, concentrate is just another word for focus.
Okay. Sign number 3, physical pain. One of the most common physical signs of stress is a headache. That tension in your mind becomes real tension in your head or your shoulders.
It does. And you can explain this simply by saying, I have a headache from stress. It clearly links the mental state to the physical pain.
And sign number 4, constant worry. This is that mental loop where your mind runs over the same problems again and again, even when you're trying to relax. It is often connected directly back to that nervousness signal we talked about.
What is important here is that recognizing these signs is the essential first step toward feeling better.
It is the message.
It is the message. If you notice you are tired or you cannot focus, your body is giving you a clear message that the tension level is too high.
That is right. The signal is clear. So, if we hear the alarm, how do we turn the volume down? Let us talk about simple, practical ways to feel better. Our goal is to reduce stress, which means making that feeling smaller and more manageable.
And we do not need expensive solutions or long, complicated therapies. Our sources emphasize that small, easy actions are the most effective
Why is that?
because they signal to your brain that the immediate threat is gone.
Idea number 1, go for a walk. This is so simple. Perhaps 10 minutes is enough. You do not even need to walk fast. The point is to change your environment, stand up, and move your body.
Movement is critical because it forces your body out of that tense sitting posture often associated with stress. It also introduces fresh air and new things to look at, which interrupts that constant worry loop.
And here is a wonderful, useful phrase for this specific action. I am going for a walk to clear my head.
To clear my head means exactly what it sounds like. You are trying to make your thoughts calm and clear, like wiping fog off a window. It is a perfect, natural phrase to explain why you are stepping away from a stressful task.
Okay, idea number 2. Listen to something calm. This could be calm music, sounds of nature, rain, forest sounds, or maybe a relaxing English podcast like this one.
The reason this works is that it gives your mind a peaceful focus point. Instead of focusing internally on the problem that is causing the stress, you focus externally on the calm sound.
It gives your nervous system a chance to rest.
It does. And you can tell someone, I listen to music to relax, or I use this app to find some quiet sounds.
And idea number 3 is crucial, especially when the stress signal is anger or frustration. Talk to a friend. When we are frustrated, we often want to be alone, but sharing the burden can truly reduce the feeling by half.
It really can. Sharing your feelings forces you to put the vague tension into clear words, and that act of clarity can be very calming. You do not even need advice, just a listener.
And you can use this simple, honest request phrase, can I talk to you? I feel a bit stressed.
Those 3 actions, walk, listen, talk, are small steps that create a big, measurable difference in managing daily tension.
Before we wrap up our deep dive, let us quickly recap those key action phrases one more time. Slowly, for your practice.
So you're feeling, I am stressed.
Your cause. School is stressful right now?
Your body signal, I cannot focus.
And your simple plan? I am going for a walk to clear my head.
Perfect. We'd have covered a great deal in this deep dive. We moved from the simple definition of stress to a powerful framework for addressing it. Stress is normal, and now you have the simple English phrases to explain how you feel, whether the cause is work, family, or study.
You should now feel much more confident, not just in using the language, but in understanding the why behind the language. That is the true power of this knowledge.
Now, here is a final thought for you to carry forward. Building on that framework we established earlier, stress is a signal, and the job of a well-informed person is to read that signal correctly.
Ask yourself this. Is my stress signaling nervousness? If it is, the action is usually preparation, study more, write a plan.
Or is the stress signaling anger or frustration about a situation I cannot change? If it is the latter, the action is boundary setting or emotional release, like talking to a friend.
Knowing this difference is so powerful. It stops you from wasting energy trying to study for an exam when what you really need is to simply take a 5-minute break away from a noisy room. That self-knowledge is powerful. We truly hope this deep dive was helpful to you on your learning journey.
If you enjoy this analysis and you found these simple English phrases useful, please help us spread this knowledge. We want everyone to feel confident talking about these common feelings. Please subscribe to the English Podcast channel on your podcast application. Subscribing is the very best way to ensure you never miss a deep dive.
And we would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us what makes you feel stressed and what you do, your personal plan to relax. We love to read your comments and learn from your experiences.
And finally, if you know a friend who is also learning English or who could use these simple tools, please share this deep dive with them. Learning English is always easier and always more fun with friends.
Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing your English every single day. We will talk to you again soon.